This story begins before I was born. Before I was born, my mother got in a car accident, and a man came up and started praying to God and asked in God to spare her, and God did. And sometime after that, her grandfather appeared and said, "If you don't get your life straight, you will die in this certain time." She wasn't living a good life, and it was taking her to hell. And she did get her life straight in some way, and a few years later, she was in a very dark place in her life because her mother died of cancer, and she found out she couldn't have children. And her body wasn't producing the eggs or what was necessary to have children, so she was very sad. But as my mom puts it, God heard her pain, and in December of 2001, I was born, and in 2003, my sister. When I was born, I was a preemie and not fully developed. And so I was taken away before my mom could see me, and my mother was in was in a life and death state. But in that state, she saw her mother and her in and her mother took my mom out of her body through the hospital to see me. And after that, she put my mom back in her body. And after, and the next day, the nurses came in and asked her, "Do you want to see him?" But she told them she already knew where I was. They were all confused. The doctor said I would never be able to see, hear, walk, talk, but I can walk, talk, and see. The only thing I have is a tube, and I have a tube. And if you don't know what a tube is, a tube drains the fluid from your brain all the way down to your stomach. If it stopped working, I will die. I'm I'm also somewhat autistic, but not in a high degree. I don't know what to make of this story. I really don't. Sorry if I was talking so fast. My mother was in a very dark place in her life. She lost her mother. She wanted to end her life. So I guess in that pain, God heard it. It wanted her to give her something, to give her a reason to live. Because my mother walked away from God is because my mother walked away from God when she was a teenager because of her grandfather. Her grandfather was a very godly man. He died back in 1989. He was a very godly man. He was the reason she was in the church, why she loved going. She went sometimes 3 times a week. She loved going. He inspired her to want to be a missionary when she grew up. She wanted to be a missionary. She wanted to help people. But when he died, she was angry. She was upset, and she had a grudge against him, and so she walked away from him. But even when she walked away from him, he still helped her, and still, when she was in her dark displaced, he gave her something that would make her happy. Again, sorry if I was talking so fast.